come on, come on! How much farther?
I don't know. I've never flown a chopper to Mexico.
We're already in Mexican airspace. Now to find Rosalia.
And how do we do that? We don't have a clue where she is.
We have to think. How about showing people her picture?
Are you kidding me? Do you know how many villages there are?
Fine, Agent. Do you happen to have a better plan?
Hey, what's that?
Something flying. Are those butterflies?
Wow, it's like a golden river flowing through the sky.
Danaus Plexippus.
Danaus? What's that?
Monarch butterflies. This must be their migration route. They can be seen every year in this season. Beautiful.
Monarchs.
Monarchs only stay in America until the end of the summer. At the end of the summer, the monarch butterfly, they head south to find Asclepius to feed the larvae. Look at the picture. Monarch butterflies. Yes, she's in Mexico.
The butterflies! Hey, buddy! Follow those butterflies!
What's with you? We can't just jump around at random.
It's not random. There was a monarch in Rosalia's photo. It's the same time of year, too. We can follow them.
Worth a shot.
Right. Agent, follow the trail of butterflies.
Over there. Someone's over there.
Rose!
So, that's her.
Yeah.
She's turned into Adipocere.
Damn. You've grown so big. I didn't recognize you.
What can we do? We can't get a blood sample from her.
Agent Holden, please take Maria and search the facility.
What are you going to do?
I'll examine her. I might be able to learn something.
Hold on! We can't get a serum, can we? It's impossible like this. Then
what? Are you going to wait for the world to end? Move. You're in my way. I have my own way to hear her voice, just like you.
I'll leave Rose in your hands.
Yes. You're Rosalia. I've been looking for you for a while. I wonder, when did people begin to mourn each other's deaths? It's funny. Everyone has to die someday. I heard your final words. I'll make sure to pass them on with the time I have.
Testing. Testing. Dr. Kimishima, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. It looks like I can examine her normally.
You mentioned that in the email. But what are you looking for?
If our information is correct, Rosalia was with Albert Saad. But we find Rosalia's corpse here. Isn't that odd?
What's so strange about that?
If Gabe brought Albert's corpse back from Usamland, then he would have died in Back Cove, over 3,000 kilometers away. What happened to these two must be brought to light.
But will that make our situation any better?
Who knows? Rosalia's corpse has become adipocere. We can't get a serum.
What a mess. This is it then.
No. These two must be related to the infection source. Filling in the gaps in the timeline will reveal the truth. That's what I believe.
All right. I'll follow you to the very end.
Thank you. I'm grateful for that.
Sorry. Dr. Kimishima, can you repeat that? The transmission cut out there for a moment.
Adipocere. It occurs when bacteria do not multiply. It's beautiful. As if she was still alive and with us. What's death, anyway? What does it signify? We cry when we are born. What about when we die? Let's begin. Show me the light that you were robbed of. There's a cut on the bottom of her left foot. There's dirt in the area she was bleeding from. This means that... Yes, she was walking after she was injured. Even more, she was walking in dirt. It must have been very difficult for her to walk at all with this wound. This is an indication of having been shot with a gun. The bullet has completely passed through the body. The entrance GSW is where the bullet enters the body. Conversely, the exit GSW is where the bullet exits the body. Normally, the exit wound is larger than the entrance wound. Keeping that in mind, which one is this wound? If it's hard to tell, I could always just compare it to the wound on the opposite side. That's right. This one would be the exit GSW. Gunshots. That's right. This is the entrance wound. This is severe. Something's gone completely through the right palm. I can see fine black particles around the wound as well. Judging by the general condition of the body, this wound is... Yes, this is a gunshot wound. But what could these black particles be? Still, someone shot at her hand? Why would that happen? Hypostasis is present in the corpse's back. If I send this in for analysis, we might figure out the position she was in when she died. This is a gunshot wound. The bullet passed through the body. Yes, this would be the exit GSW. This. That's right. This one would be the entrance GSW. Could this blood have come from the chest wound? There's something odd about it, though. Yes. If it was hemorrhaging from the chest, it would only be coming from one area. If it's spattered around this much, it means there's another reason for this hemorrhaging. It's a bullet case. What's it doing in a place like this? There's a lot you can learn from a bullet case. I'd better have this analyzed. The glass in the door is shattered. This is a blood stain. Could this be related to the case? I should get this analyzed at once. Judging by the accumulation of dust, it doesn't look like this was shattered recently. This might not necessarily relate to this case, but it should be looked at, just to be sure. These stains, it's blood. There's a trail of it, too. These weren't cleaned up. Could this mean these blood stains were from when the incident occurred? Is this blood Rosalia's? Or... Is this a bullet case? Not a standard piece of lab equipment. If I have this analyzed, I might learn some more details about it. Is this a voice recorder? I wonder if there's anything recorded on it. It seems to be broken. I hope the data inside can be retrieved. Hey, little guy, I want to know more about this bullet casing.
Okay. Let's see here.
Well, what can you tell me?
First of all, it's a case for a 9mm round. Bullets that size are normally used in handguns.
Huh. So it's not something rare that could be a big clue for us.
Unfortunately, that's correct.
But why was a bullet casing on the floor inside a lab? That question might lead us to some important information. Little guy, can I borrow you for a moment?
Of course. Do you need something analyzed?
I found this bullet casing near the entrance to the room.
All right, let me take a look at it.
How does it look? Can you tell me anything from it?
It's a 9mm round, usually used in handguns all over the world.
Okay, I get it. It's not all that special.
Pretty much, yeah. Yes, I'll let you know if I find out anything else about it.
Yes, please do.
Oh, Dr. Kimishima, I've found out something new.
Great. What is it?
Well, the bullet cases that you found under the desk and at the entryway, they both have a characteristic abrasion in the same area on their sides.
A characteristic abrasion?
Yes, likely formed when the empty casing is ejected from the chamber after firing.
It was ejected. Are you saying the gun was an automatic?
Well, the evidence suggests the use of a semi-automatic pistol, not a revolver.
So a casing is ejected after every round fired?
Yes, that would be the case.
That would mean that the places where we found those shell casings... Yes. It means that the gun was fired near those places. Hey, little guy. Do you think this can be repaired?
Whoa, this is one old recorder.
I know. I want to see what's in this.
Yikes, this can't be fixed. Not even I could do it.
I see. That's unfortunate.
Hey, wait a second. I can't fix the machine itself, but I might be able to get at whatever data's been saved on it.
That would be great. Can you get on that?
Okay, can you connect the recorder to the computer over on your end?
All right, 1 second. There. What's next?
You don't have to do anything else. I'm going to try taking a look at the data from here.
You can do that remotely? What an age we live in.
Really? It's not that difficult. Don't you know how to use a computer?
Zip it. Just hurry up and start looking already.
Don't get mad. You should be thanking me for this.
What was that?
Nothing. I'm on it.
And?
Looks like most of the data's been corrupted. Wait, this file might still be intact. We can play this one as is.
All right. Transfer it over here.
Right away. You're going to listen to it on your own machine, right? I'll name the file Record 01 and send it over to you.
Good. I'll try listening to it. Does the rest of the data look like it can be repaired?
I can't really say for sure myself. I'll talk to the lab techs about it. If the files can be reconstructed, I'll send the data over to you.
All right. I'll be looking forward to hearing some good news from you.
No pressure, right?
Hey, little guy. I found a blood stain on the floor here.
A bloodstain? Isn't it just another one left by Rosalia?
Making assumptions is a dangerous habit. I need you to go over this in detail.
Got it. I'll have to receive the data from the helicopter's equipment and merge it with what we have here. Then I'll have to use that to come up with analysis results. Is that okay?
Will it take time? We're racing against the clock as it is.
Yes, but I'll try to hurry it along. There are more and more patients piling up here.
All right. Contact me when the results come in. The entrance and exit wounds tell us what happens when someone has been shot. In this case, the victim was shot in the... Yes, the bullet entered through the chest, creating the entrance GSW. It then passed through her body and out her back, creating the exit GSW. This proves that she had been shot from the front. The back of the thigh is the entrance wound, and the front is the exit. If that's the case... Yes, the shooter was behind the victim when she was shot. In any case, the wound in the thigh isn't the same size as the wound in the chest. Could this mean that 2 different firearms were used? I think contacting Little Guy and asking him to look into this would be my best option here. Little guy, could you analyze this hypostasis?
Yes, of course. Please Please send your data over to me.
All right, please look at it right away.
Okay, I've got it. Let's see here. Well, the hypostasis matches the position Rosalia's body was in when she was discovered.
Hypostasis occurs when the blood flow throughout the body has stopped. The blood settles within the corpse, pooling in the areas closest to the ground. Thus, Rosalia's corpse was... Yes. If the corpse had been moved, the hypostasis wouldn't match the position we discovered the body in. That place truly is where Rosalia drew her last breath.
Oh, Dr. Kimishima? I have a question.
Hopefully it's something I have an answer for. What is it?
Well, the blue flowers are only growing in that one particular area of the field. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. Rosalia was found in the center of this area of blue flowers.
Well, isn't that too much to be coincidence? It just seems so set up.
I see. What you're trying to say is...
Yes. Doesn't that make more sense?
You may have a point. Hypostasis begins to appear roughly 30 minutes after death. It's possible that her corpse was moved here immediately after she died to create this situation.
If that's the case, why would her killer do such a thing to her?
We're just grasping at straws here. We'll need real evidence and facts in order to solve these mysteries. Little guy, can you analyze these black particles?
Okay. This is gunshot residue.
Gunshot residue.
When a gun is fired, it launches more than the bullet. Particles of gunpowder are blasted out of the barrel by the force of the explosion as well. When those particles land on the target being shot at, it is known as gunshot residue.
I see. So, since it was on Rosalia, that means... Indeed. It would indicate that she was shot from very close range. Hey, little guy, I need you to analyze this gunshot wound.
Yes, ma'am. A gunshot wound to the palm. Let's see. The bullet entered through the palm and exited through the back of the hand. It seems she was raising her hand towards the gun when it was fired.
Why would she put her hand up like that? A defensive wound is damage taken while trying to protect oneself from harm. She likely put her hands up as an instinctive reaction to having a gun pointed at her. Yes. If I think about what happened at the time of the murder, these do have a common link. These fine blood stains spattering Rosalia's clothing. This hemorrhaging was most likely caused by... That's right. There was a defensive wound on Rosalia's palm. The killer turned his gun on this girl and pulled the trigger. That bullet tore through the hand she held up, ineffectually trying to ward off the blow. It then continued into her body, piercing her heart. The fine blood stains were from the blood that came from her hand.
testing started August 7th. 2 days ago, I verified the sample collected from the biopsy. I have succeeded in extracting the virus and will begin cultivating it as a sample. Compared to the mononegavirales, there are 24 similarities found, and...
Dad, hey, Dad! Sheesh!
Rose, give that back.
No, it's time for dinner!
Oh, is it? I didn't even notice. I'm sorry.
Sheesh, you never hear me when you're working. No more work for you until we're done eating.
Well, you got me. I accept my defeat. All right, let's go to the dining room. What's for dinner today?
Yeah! Dinner!
Hey, don't run. You'll trip and hurt yourself.
Dr. Kimishima, we've finished the analysis on that bloodstain.
You mean the bloodstain that was on the floor? Great. What were the results? Was that Rosalia's blood after all?
Actually, about that, it didn't match her DNA.
Huh. Then whose?
That blood was Albert Sartre's.
What? It's Albert's blood?
There's no mistake. I compared it with the DNA we examined before.
Then, does that mean Albert was also injured, like Rosalia?
I don't know about that, but considering that Rosalia had been shot...
Was he also shot?
Dr. Kimishima.
We don't know if that's the case yet. We can't know until we investigate this. This bloodstain. It'd be best if I looked into it for more details. Another bullet casing here? I didn't see it among all these flowers. This may be an important clue.
Dr. Kimishima, the analysis results are in.
Good. Which analysis was this?
It's for the glass from the door at the entrance.
Huh, all right. Tell me what you've got.
Right. We've analyzed the broken glass. We can determine the direction the glass shattered in from the stress marks on the edges of the fracture.
Stress marks?
It refers to the marks left on the inner edges of a fracture line when the glass is broken. The direction of impact can be found by studying the stress marks on the fractures.
Is that so? And what did you find?
Well, the glass wasn't shattered from the outside. The blow that broke it came from inside.
Inside? So nobody shot into the room from outside then?
That appears to be the case. But one more thing about that glass. We weren't able to find any evidence like fingerprints or gunshot residue on it.
I see. So the glass was shattered from the inside out. Hey, little guy, I found another bullet casing.
It's a real battlefield there, huh? Let's take a look at it. Well, just like the other two shells you found, this one has similar markings on it. It was likely fired from the same gun as the other two.
One bullet was shot outside, while the other two were fired indoors. Why was the gun used here? That seems like an important fact to know. Yes, it does look like those two can be put together. If a bullet was fired near where we found the shell casing, the question is which direction the bullet went. First, we should consider the number of times the gun was fired. Concentrate. That's right. A total of 2 shots was fired inside. But there isn't a single bullet or bullet hole in this room. Other than the cases, the only other indication of the gun being fired indoors is... Indeed, the glass at the entrance was shattered from the inside out. There is a possibility that a bullet fired from indoors broke the glass. If so, then the person who fired the gun would have had to be... That's right. If the glass had been shattered from a close-range shot, there would have been gunshot residue on the door and window. Thus, the bullet that broke the glass was fired from further inside the room, near the desk. A shot from indoors fired towards the outside. Is what happened here? Little guy, analyze this wound.
Understood. This is a penetrating bullet wound from a firearm?
That's right. Rosalia.
The bullet entered her chest and went through her heart. I don't think there was any doubt that this was a fatal wound.
I see. The question now is who pulled the trigger. The events of Rosalia's death are becoming clear. First, the cause of death. The wound that killed Rosalia was... Right. The bullet that went through her chest struck her heart, ending her life. Now, what direction did that fatal shot come from? Indeed, the entrance and exit wounds tell us the path of the bullet through her body. Rosalia was alive just before this shot as well. The evidence for this is... Yes, the wound on her palm is a defensive one, caused by her trying to protect herself from the gunshot. Her right hand also has another piece of important evidence. That is... Indeed, the gunshot residue from the shot that killed her. Gunshot residue is left behind when... Yes, gunshot residue is found on targets that have been shot at close range. We can tell that Rosalia had been shot in the chest from a short distance away. What would drive someone to be so determined to kill Rosalia? This casing was found in the blue flower field. This tells us that... Indeed. It means that the gun was fired here. And this is the place that Rosalia was found dead. The cause of death was a close-range gunshot through the heart. Thus... That's right. This is where Rosalia was cut down. But who?
Dr. Kimishima, the analysis on the glass shard has been completed.
Huh, you mean the shard that was found near the entrance? Did you figure out whose blood that is?
Yes. At first I thought it might be Albert's, like the bloodstain on the floor. But it seems that the blood on the glass shard came from Rosalia.
Rosalia's?
Yes, the DNA matches, there's no doubt.
Rosalia left a blood stain indoors as well. What in the world does this mean? This glass shard was found on the floor near the entrance. It came from the glass on the door after it had shattered. That piece of glass had Rosalia's blood on it. Her corpse's foot had a cut and signs of hemorrhaging on the bottom as well. This most likely means that... Yes, Rosalia stepped on this glass shard and cut her foot. From the amount of hemorrhaging, she must have injured it just before her death. Yes, these do give us something we can draw a conclusion from. When the glass on the door shattered, Rosalia... That's right. Rosalia cut her foot on the broken glass. This proves that she left the room after the glass broke. Rosalia's foot was cut right before she died. Given the fact that there aren't any more bloodstains from her inside the room, Rosalia headed outside immediately after cutting her foot on the glass. In other words, Rosalia was... Yes. She most likely avoided the shot and ran from the room. The gun was obviously being pointed at... Indeed. The shooter had been aiming at Rosalia all along. That's why she ran out of the room. In doing so, she stepped on the broken glass, injuring her foot. That is what happened at the entrance to this room. 2 shots were fired from inside this room. If neither of them was from someone shooting further into the room, and someone inside was targeting Rosalia... Little guy. What is it?
Dr. Kimishima, we've located the lock.
The lock? Oh, you mean the one that goes to the key found in Albert's clothes?
Yes, it was a safety deposit box in a bank. We've already taken it and the contents.
Good. What was inside it?
A 9mm handgun. Albert Sartre's fingerprints were found on the grip as well. Could it be that the person who shot Rosalia was...
Let's confirm something before that. Was the gun loaded?
Yes, the magazine holds 7 rounds, and it's possible to keep an additional round chambered. When the gun was found, there were 5 rounds in it.
5 shots. So the maximum number of bullets that could be missing from it is... Indeed. And if the gun is missing 3 bullets, then... Right. That's the same number of cases that were found here.
Dr. Kimishima, if I may?
Yes, what is it?
Well, luckily the gun is in condition to fire. If you can find one of the bullets from the scene there, we can use the rifling to determine if it had been fired from this gun.
Nonsense. You expect me to find something that can fly over 250 meters a second?
Well, yes, I know it might be a long shot, but...
Looks like I don't have a choice. I'll let you know if I do find one.
Please do. I'll try to come up with a different plan from here. Dr. Kimishima, we've received the results of the analysis.
Good. Is it about the differences between the chest and thigh wounds?
Are you some kind of psychic super spy or something? Creepy.
You'll pay for that slip of the tongue, little guy.
Well, sorry, it was a joke.
Fine, but I'll remember that. Just tell me what the report says.
Oh, yes. Regarding the comparison between the 2 wounds, looking at them, it appears that both wounds were made by the same caliber of gun.
Huh. But the wounds are of different sizes.
Yes, it's possible for wounds to be differently sized even from the exact same gun.
How can that happen? The reason I can think of is... I see. The bullets were shot from different distances, weren't they?
Way to go, Dr. Kimishima.
Sucking up to me won't spare you from my wrath.
Oh.
Keep telling me about the report.
Right. Comparing the wounds in the chest and thigh, the shot that struck her thigh was from a greater distance. If the chest wound was made from close range, the other shot would have been fired from about 8 meters away.
It seems that there's a big difference in the way she received both of these wounds, then. Yes, it looks like these can be used together. Rosalia had a laceration on her left foot and a gunshot wound in her right thigh. She was in no condition to walk. Her foot had been injured by stepping on the broken glass at the entrance to the lab. And when she was shot in the leg... That's right. Rosalia collapsed when she was hit in the leg. There's only one place in this lab the shooter could have been standing to shoot Rosalia in the field. That is... Yes, it's from the entrance to the lab. The bullet that hit Rosalia's thigh went completely through. It'll be difficult to find that bullet. The bullet that ended Rosalia's life. Looking around randomly for it won't get me anywhere. The number of bullets that were fired at this scene is... Right. One shot in the flower field, one was by the desk, and another at the entrance. That's a total of 3 shots fired. Of these 3, which one was fired last? That's right. The bullet shot in the field is the one that killed Rosalia. If it was before then, she couldn't have stepped on the glass, and there would be no need to shoot her leg. Then, what condition was Rosalia in when she was killed? Indeed, she was on the ground. Wait, Rosalia was lying on the ground when she was shot. She couldn't have been standing with those injuries to her foot and leg, so the shooter must have been standing above her, shooting down. That's right. The bullet that went through her chest must be... Here it is. This is the bullet that killed Rosalia. The bullet's in good condition. We'll be able to check the rifling on it. Hey, little guy. I found what you wanted.
You managed to find a bullet? I don't believe it.
You don't? Oh, I'll just throw this thing away then.
No. Come on, Dr. Kimishima, I need that. Seriously. She knew what I meant.
Did you say something?
No, I'll start analyzing it right away.
Did you check the rifling?
It's a perfect match.
So that means...
Yes, there's no doubt at all that that bullet was fired from Albert's gun.
What in the world caused all this to happen, though? Ah, yes. We can use these to find a deeper truth. Dr. Sartre left a gun in a safety deposit box. Its rifling perfectly matches the bullet that killed Rosalia. What this shows is... Yes. Albert Sartre killed Rosalia. Rosalia and Albert lived together, like a true family. What happened between them?
Oh, Dr. Kimishima, about the recorder.
What is it?
We were able to reconstruct one of the sound files.
Good. Can you tell when the recording was made?
Well, it seems to have been recorded after the one I gave you before, but...
What's wrong? Did something happen?
It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Oh, sorry. Anyway, please try listening to the new recording. I've sent it over to you in the file Record 02.
All right, I'll make sure I hear it.
It's over. It's all over. I thought I'd found God's child. But it was a misunderstanding. It wasn't God. The devil. It's the devil. It was beyond human control after all. Everything. It was all over on that day. That day 6 years ago. It must be stopped. I must stop it. Oh God. Please. Forgive my foolishness. Dr. Kimishima, the results of the analysis are in.
Good. Which results are we talking about here?
Oh, right. The one on Albert's bloodstain. Let's see. Traces of saliva were detected in the components of the bloodstain.
Saliva. That means... That's right. It means that the blood was from blood Albert had vomited.
Yes, that appears to be the case. Can you figure something out from that?
Well, Albert was infected with viral hemorrhagic fever. This disease causes severe attacks that trigger vomiting of blood.
Severe attacks? If that's the case, then he may have been like the other victims we've seen.
Yes. Just like Veronica Cage and Alma Parker, there's a possibility that the disease undermined his sanity and drove him mad.
Well, in any case, we're finally starting to see the big picture behind what happened here.
Not yet. The most important truth hasn't been uncovered.
Do you mean the cause of the recent outbreak of this disease?
Yes. Albert died of viral hemorrhagic fever 2 years ago. Rosalia, the host of the virus, was killed even before that. So why would the virus begin spreading now? And how can we stop it? We don't have any answers for these important questions yet.
Sheesh. Looks like it's all over then. Well, I really don't have much to regret.
No. I can still do this. I'm not going to give up.
I thought you'd say that. I prepared another voice file.
Huh?
Oh, come on. Did you really think I meant that? Even I have something to live for, you know? Anyway, I've transferred the restored recording to you. The file name is Record 03. Give it a listen.
All right. Do you know when this was recorded?
Yes, I've listened to it, and it seems to be from before Albert lost his mind. The recorder doesn't have any more files for me to send you.
All right. I'll try listening to it. Rosalia was found dead in that field of blue flowers. I think I might finally be able to understand why now.
The results of the experiments from the other day are in. It's a disaster. That virus. It's the most vicious and dangerous thing I have ever seen. No matter what attempts I make, nothing can stop their activities. They multiply and devour and destroy everything. How can she still be alive while that monster lives within her? I feel that her blood holds the secret to that. Her blood is the only key to saving all of humanity. I cannot give up. There's nothing more I can do to stall it. One day, this virus will be brought to heel, and I will return to that place, and...
Professor Sartre said that Rosalia's blood was the only key. This key that Rosalia had that allowed her to live with the virus was... Yes, it was a glycoprotein called immunoglobulin. In other words, it was an antibody. The Rosalia virus is immensely powerful. The professor tried to extract the antibody in order to suppress and control its activity. That was a Pandora's box that should never have been opened. Rosalia's blood was too much of a danger to look into. Little guy, I need your help.
Oh, that's rare coming from you. What can I do?
I need to get to the bottom of these blue flowers.
Didn't we analyze those already?
What we know now may throw a new light on what we've looked at before.
All right, let's sort through our information again then.
Yes. Rosalia was found collapsed in the middle of these blue flowers.
That's right. We had a number of ideas about why that happened.
We thought that the killer might have moved the body before hypostasis set in. Another possibility was that Rosalia ran to the blue flowers herself.
Yes. Does any of that change with the information we've gained?
Indeed. One of those possibilities has already been ruled out.
Huh? Which one?
Don't you see? It's... Yes, it's impossible for the body to have been moved after death. The reason for that is... How could I do that? Right. The bullet found in the ground beneath Rosalia proves she was killed right there.
Hey, wait. Let me try arguing against you for once.
What's that?
Never mind. It's still possible she was killed elsewhere, right? She could have been killed somewhere else, then dragged here and shot in the chest to cover it up.
That's not possible. She was alive before she was shot in the chest. The proof of that is... Rosalia held up her hand to try to protect herself from the gunshot. This pattern of wounds could only happen if the victim was conscious at the time.
You're right. The student fails to defeat the master.
What do you keep muttering to yourself?
Nothing. Anyway, if that's the case, then that means that Rosalia ran to the blue flowers of her own free will. I wonder why.
I still don't have an answer for that. It might be a good idea to examine those flowers in detail once more. These blue flowers. I can't believe such a vibrant color exists in nature. I should send a picture of this to Little Guy and have him study it. There could be a reason for why Rosalia had collapsed here. Little Guy, I've collected some samples of the flowers.
Huh? Why?
I want to know why Rosalia collapsed there. There's no guarantee that it will help us, but there's a chance we might learn something useful.
Okay. It's worth a shot.
Good. Thanks for the help.
Yeah. Oh, what the?
What's the matter?
Oh, well, this flowers. It's Asclepius.
What are you talking about? The red flowers are the Asclepias. I want you to tell me about the blue flowers.
That's what I'm saying. These are Asclepius.
What are you saying? Asclepias doesn't have blue flowers.
Yes, there are no known breeds of blue Asclepias. But from the shape and the structure, this is an Asclepias blossom. This flower shouldn't exist.
What in the world is it then? Let's try sorting out the information we have. The blue flowers in the center of the field are Asclepias, just like the flowers surrounding them. Then why are the blue flowers only around Rosalia? The reason for this is most likely... That's right. Those flowers must have become discolored for some reason. A probable cause of that is... Indeed, Rosalia was shot through the heart. Rosalia would have lost a large amount of blood from that wound. That blood then seeped into the ground around her. This miraculous blood, containing both the divine and the demonic. The flowers around her body absorbed Rosalia's blood from the soil. That, in turn, caused the flowers to take on this unnatural blue hue. I don't want to believe it, but that's the conclusion that I have to arrive at. Yes, these allow us to finally figure everything out. It's no coincidence that Rosalia's body was surrounded by these blue flowers. They were normal red flowers until she died. When she died, her blood soaked into the ground. The Asclepias flowers absorbed her blood and changed color. Most likely what caused the color change in the flowers was... That's right. The demon within Rosalia's veins lived on after her death, finding another viable host in the blue Asclepias flowers.
I can't believe it. How could such a thing...
It may be unbelievable, but it is the truth. The corpse itself is a testament to that.
The corpse?
Yes.
Remember, Rosalia's corpse had turned completely into adipocere. Adipocere normally occurs when the bacteria that break down bodies do not multiply for some reason. This normally occurs when the corpse is stored in anaerobic conditions for long periods of time. But this is hardly an anaerobic location. The reason her body became adipocere was not due to environmental or weather conditions. It was because the virus within her continued to protect her body.
But even if the blue Asclepius are harboring the Rosalia virus, how does that connect to the pandemic going on right now in America? It's impossible.
You're right. The Rosalia virus is only passed on via contact with the mucous membranes. Even if this entire field was filled with flowers holding the Rosalia virus, it wouldn't be able to cause the outbreak in Portland, over 3,000 kilometers away.
Then how?
There was a vector.
A vector?
Yes. Some method of transmission that carried the virus from these flowers. This is how the virus spread to cause the infections in cities hundreds of miles away from here.
Huh? What?
Can't you tell? It's... That's right. The butterflies that led us here carried the virus. The monarchs are the vector for the Rosalia virus. This is how the Rosalia virus has spread.
Dr. Kimishima, can I bother you for a moment?
Yes, what is it?
You might not need this anymore, but I reconstructed another voice file.
Another one? I thought you'd said that you'd repaired them all.
Yes, this file was actually marked as having been deleted. It still existed in the memory, though, so I was able to reconstruct it.
I see. When is that recording from?
From looking at the date, it's right before Albert lost his sanity.
All right. Still, it's unusual for you to go and do something unnecessary like this.
Yeah, well, not sure how to put this. I felt this was something that I needed to pass on to you.
Okay, I'll try listening to it.
Please do. It'll be file Record 04.
I'm Rosalia. I live here with my daddy. My daddy is really nice and says a lot of nice things. Daddy's a great doctor. He says he's going to save everyone from diseases. He says I've got a poison and a cure in my body, and that the poison's really scary, but the cure is really amazing. That's why he's researching how to get that medicine out of me. If that medicine is made, I wonder if it'll heal everyone. And then I can make lots of friends and play with them. Daddy's really bothered right now because the research is difficult. But I think I'll be okay if I can stay here like this. I can't see my brother or my big sis, but Daddy's always here for me. He's always laughing. It's really funny. I think Daddy will be happy if he can get the medicine out of me. The exams hurt, but if Daddy's happy, I'll be okay. So I hope that Daddy's research comes true soon, and then everyone can be healed.
A father who wanted to end all disease, and a daughter who wanted nothing but his success. This is far too sad a conclusion to their stories. And yet, now I can see the truth behind everything that happened here. This... I see. I understand now. Let's put together the truth of what happened here. We came here to find an antiserum in Rosalia's blood. But what we found was that Rosalia had already been killed. I have in my hands the card stating what killed her. Yes, the bullet's rifling matches that of Albert's gun. There's no doubt that Albert Sartre was her killer. 3 shots were fired. This card shows how it began. Correct. Albert pulled the gun from his desk and fired. He was aiming at his loving daughter, who stood at the door. However, he missed, and the bullet went through the glass. Whether this is due to hesitation or his condition is unknown. Rosalia fled the room, trying to escape. The blood on the glass shard is from her stepping on it. She ran in desperation, but this prevented her escape. That's right. Albert stood in the doorway and shot her. The bullet pierced Rosalia's leg and she collapsed. Albert caught up with the frightened girl as she lay there. And then... yes, he ended her life. But Albert didn't kill Rosalia because he wanted to. He truly loved Rosalia as he would his own daughter. But he had no choice but to kill her. This card shows the reason why. Albert had been infected with the Rosalia virus. However, this virus does more than infect the body. It eats away at the heart and soul, as in my other cases. Because Albert knew of the virus's threat all too well, in order to exterminate it, he killed his own child. And yet, ironically, he may have caused the exact opposite. The blood spilling from the gunshot wound in her chest provided the Rosalia virus with a new host. This is the true cause of the spreading infection. Yes, the blue Asclepias flowers around her body drew in Rosalia's blood and became a new host for death. And so, the mass infection began. A certain organism served as a vector for the virus. Monarch larvae store toxins of the plants that they ingest. The monarchs carrying the Rosalia virus migrated north, and as they went, they showered death in golden scales. This is the truth behind how the virus spread. Rosalia never. Neither did Albert. No one intended for it to end this way. One sought an end to all disease, and the other his success. But that was the beginning. The evil sealed in Rosalia gained wings and flew. That's what Rosalia's last word meant.
Beginning.
This is the whole truth, illuminated by the light of life. You must have suffered too. Let's end this.
Naomi, come quick! We got the equipment working!
All right, I'll be right.
Hey, Naomi? What's wrong?
It's nothing. Let's go.
It's not nothing. Let me take a... You...
As I said before, we don't have much time. We still have a job to do, and we must accomplish it.
wait! Hey!
How's it coming, Agent? Did you find anything?
We've got the power back on, as you can see. The rest's a pile of records, chemicals, and equipment. You?
It's all been solved. Albert Sart killed Rosalia.
How sad. His effort to save the world is close to killing it.
Yes. He must have realized the virus couldn't be used. That is what caused this tragedy to strike.
So, did you find a countermeasure to the virus?
Yes. The virus's vector is the Monarchs. The scales they lose during migration are spreading it.
Don't tell me. The quarantine failed because...
The Monarch migration pattern extends from Mexico to Lake Erie. Even if the virus isn't airborne, it will still spread.
Damn it! What should we do then?
Naomi, I gathered as much as I could.
Flowers? What are you planning on doing?
I'll use antibody stabilizers to extract an antiserum.
You can do that?
Yes. Thankfully, this facility has the necessary equipment. I'll make the serum contain tripeptides in N-terminal order.
All right. Just tell me what to do to help you.
Of course. Let's get this over with as fast as we can.